Holy Toledo! Anna and I are back in the Big Apple with our new solution to the secret treasure hunt, New York. Doing it again, even more V at the Battery. Holy Father, Our Lady of Liberty looks like a dude. Comparing the image and the Statue of Liberty, the hairline's the same, the prominent forehead, the straight nose, the masculine features. In comparison to a generic actress, the image and the Statue of Liberty are much closer. Holy hell, the flower is the flame. The flower on the image is another hint of the Statue of Liberty. The image is holding up the flower just like the statue holds up her torch. Holy cow! Elephants! Lots of elephants. Elephants are part of the gray giant clue. Elephants in the water, elephants on the sleeve. The bottom of the dress, turned over and stretched out, is another elephant. The first line of the verse is in the shadow of the gray giant, and this has multiple meanings. The first gray giant is the Brooklyn Bridge, built in 1883. At the time, it was the world's longest suspension bridge, truly the eighth wonder of the world. But New Yorkers were slow to accept it. They weren't sure it was safe. So as a publicity stunt, P.T. Barnum paraded his 21 elephants across the bridge and settled that issue. Later, the Williamsburg Bridge was built in 1903, and it eclipsed the Brooklyn Bridge as the world's longest suspension bridge. Both of these bridges were reportedly painted gray at their initial construction. Other reports have challenged that, but there's no definitive conclusion. But I think they both qualify as the gray giants. The Brooklyn Bridge is in the shadow of the Williamsburg Bridge, and the elephants are in the shadow of the Brooklyn Bridge, and we're in the shadow of history of all three. The woman's forehead looks like a bridge. Holy ghosts! There's ghosts on the image. There's a black one on the right side of her hair and a cream-colored one on the left side of her hair. Unfortunately, these ghosts refer to the fact that the Brooklyn Bridge is haunted by the deaths of 20 workers that happened during its construction. Holy macanoli! P.T. Barnum had a museum and circus in New York, which is why he had 21 elephants to parade across the bridge. He also had many other animals, like this monkey that's hanging from the woman's eye and forms her nose and lips. This beautiful brick arch at the eastern end of the Brooklyn Bridge is similar to the arch and flat bar across the bottom on the image. Let's head south from the Brooklyn Bridge. Holy crap, this path is slender. Anna and I are being jostled around by all the people out here on this beautiful morning on the East River Greenway. Holy crap on a stick, it's the arm that extends over the slender path. It's the bowsprit of the Waverly that's been moored here since the 1970s in the shadow of the Brooklyn Bridge. So it's in the shadow of the gray giant. It's the arm that extends over the slender path. Holy smokes, that whirring sound is the tunnel ventilation fans that move the car exhaust out of the tunnels and bring in fresh air. The Brooklyn Battery Tunnel has over 100 large fans located in southern Manhattan and Governor's Island and in Brooklyn. They need these fans because cars abound, and fans move the car exhaust out and bring in fresh air. Holy Indies! Although the sign speaks of Indies native, that refers to the National Museum of the American Indian. And if you look on the beak of the seagull, you'll see a Native American facing a black bear. Holy guacamole! Holy mackerel! These fish tacos are good. Anna and I stopped for lunch. Who'd have thought you could get good fish tacos in New York City? Well, the natives still speak of him of hard word in 3 volumes. That's a reference to Teddy Roosevelt, who wrote the 3-volume set of books, The Winning of the West, which chronicled the tale of the hardy Americans who explored and settled the western U.S. Teddy's favorite line was speak softly and carry a big stick. The big stick is the hard word. The softly is the 3-volume. Volume 3 out of 10 would be soft. and that's a hint to FDR Drive, which at the southern end of the island descends into the Battery Underpass Tunnel, which we'll refer to later. So here we are at the Battery in the East Coast Memorial. We've got the 8 slabs located on a slight V, and the slabs are etched with the names of the sailors and others who died in World War II. There's an eagle at the east end. And the clues in the verse that relate to this area are take twice as many east steps as the hour or more from the middle of one branch of the V. Look down. The look down line is often associated with later clues, but I'm keeping it here at present, and that's where we're going to start. Why? Holy shit. If we look down, we see that directly under the eagle is the intersection of the southbound lanes of the FDR Battery Underpass and the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. Holy V, moving up to the next 2 lines from the middle of one branch of the V, and looking at the clock, we see the 2 hands at the 11 o'clock position form a V. Turning the V around, we see it's the same V that forms the intersection of the Battery Underpass and the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. Holy of Holies, the cask. So if we take twice as many east steps as the hour, well, the hour is 11 times 2 is 22 steps, which is about 28 to 30 feet. And we take the eagle as being the point of intersection of the southbound lanes of the 2 roadways. And we measure off that distance. The cask is just off the backside of the East Coast Memorial. But wait, we skipped the or more line. How does that figure in? Well, on the landward side of the second slab on the north line of slabs, there's the name Sidney Moore. And if we find the middle of the north branch of the V, drawing a line from the name Sidney Moore through the middle of the north branch of the V into the eagle that's moving straight east, it's more than the 22 steps. But once we get to the eagle, it's aligned perfectly with the arrow for the 22 steps that we drew in previously. That's it. That's the location of the Holy Grail that we've all been searching for. Holy Moses, or Holy Moly, if Holy Moses is too blasphemous for you. Look down and see the simple roots in Rhapsodic Man soil. Well, Robert Moses is that Rhapsodic Man, and he had the idea for the Battery Street Underpass. He planted the seed to dig in the soil. Or gaze north toward the Isle of B. Holy crap on a cracker, you mean that Castle Clinton used to be a standalone island out in the water? Yeah, in the 1700s and early 1800s, it was a round structure, a battery with cannons out in the water. Later, the park was expanded with dredge spoils into the configuration you see today. Holy F, that's the spot. The cask is in the dirt just past the block wall, almost to the corner. You know, the specific cask location was mostly found through the verse, so it may be that the image doesn't provide a lot of clear hints, but let's look around and see what we can find. Well, from here, you can see the Statue of Liberty. You can see the Isle of B. Holy Rosary. To the northeast, you can see Our Lady of the Rosary Catholic Church. It's behind the new sea glass building. So maybe all these colored dots on the image are references to rosary beads and a hint to the church. Holy crickets. It could also be flowers at the Battery, which bloom most all spring, summer, and fall. Holy underwear. Well, I hope you don't have holy underwear, but perhaps these dots on the image are a hint to these signposts around the Battery with the different size holes at the bottom. Holy buckets. The masonry wall around the East Coast Memorial has little tapered bases at the bottom that are vaguely like buckets. I don't see anything similar on the image, but then I don't think we should expect to, because looking at this photo from 1974, That masonry wall, at least in its current form, was not there at the time, and it doesn't appear that it was added until the park was remodeled in the mid 1990s. So we're now done with this whole presentation. Hope you enjoyed it. Please don't dig without permission. Catch you next time.